What's happening, YouTube? Rod J back to take a look at another beer. This time I'm going to take a look at one from Victory Brewing. This is the Moving Parts number 4, the Ever Evolving IPA. This is a white IPA that comes in at 7% ABV. This one is actually no longer in production. I just happened to find this on a rare search last week and luckily was able to pick one up. A nice double deuce 22-ounce bottle here. So it should be pretty good. I'm a big fan of some of the beers from Victory, so looking forward to trying this one out. Give you a little bit of information off the label. We like to mix it up. New flavors, new ideas, new ingredients. We welcome them all. In celebration of our penchant for prolific experimentation, we present Moving Parts, the ever-evolving IPA. Each release in the series celebrates a tweaked ingredient or two, creating an endless array of possible flavor profiles. Our 4th batch, MP04, delivers a robust wheat flavor combined with juicy hops and complex spiciness. Belgian fermentation character joined these flavors to create a deliciously intriguing beer that invites you to taste victory. Cheers. And it has the signature there, Bill and Ron, the brewmasters of Victory. So outside of that, not too much else really on the label, but it is a kind of a cool label there for the Moving Parts. And if you're wondering about the series right now, I believe the latest one is actually number 5 that might be available now. So that would be MP05. But as I mentioned, this one is no longer in production. Happened to look this one up on Rate Beer as well. And of the series, this one actually scored the second highest level, where it came in at a 92 overall and an 86 for the style. The only one in the series so far that has been above that has been Moving Parts batch number 3, which had a 93 score and 81 off of 81 rating. So that one, batch number 3, also in its style finished 88. So that's off of Rate Beer, but Rate Beer is not always all that accurate or great, which I found is up and down on many of the beers, but just to give you kind of an idea of where it may stand out there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get it open, get it into a glass. As far as the glassware, the best glasses usually preferred happen to be a shaker or a tulip for this beer. I'm actually going to use a shaker glass. I haven't done this in a while, but there's the Victory bottle cap. Nice little V symbol that they have on there as well. Alright, so we got the beer into the glass. Actually poured out a little bit more than I wanted to get into the glass. Actually ended up giving me about a 3-finger head, so we'll let that come down a little bit. But as we take a look at the appearance, you put it to the light, you get that nice golden yellow. You can see a lot of nice carbonation taking place, very lively on the bubbles. Take it out of it, you get a nice straw color, which you would expect to have on a white IPA. And again, can see some of the bubble action. Not sure if you can see anything there. Probably not, because it does have some cloudiness in play. The cloudiness on this beer is probably about 80%, 90% cloudy. Can kind of see through some on the other side, but not as clear. So we do have a lot of action taking place on that. On the head itself, a nice white head. A lot of good rockiness to the head you would kind of figure to be on the IPA, so we'll definitely see how that laces as I drink this down the glass. Everything else with it looks pretty good. I like the appearance on it. I think it's a pretty solid looking beer. Going to get an aroma. Great aroma. I do get that wheat sensation. I'm getting the malt that's coming out of the glass here. Good, very good aroma level, not having to take a deep inhalation. It really does pour right out. Get some of that pine on the back end from the hops that are used. Now I'll actually list the hops on the YouTube in the description section, but I believe on this one it does use a variety of hops in there. Forgot how many it actually uses. I want to say it's 3 or 4. Let me double check real quick here. Yeah, actually uses 2 hops. So I was off there a bit, and for malts, it actually has 3 malts listed. So I'll list that stuff all out there so you can check it out. Another good thing with the aroma with this beer is that you do pick up some of the fruit as you would expect in a IPA. You get some of that mango, kind of some of that passion fruit that usually comes through. It fits nicely with this beer as well. So another good feature that you should look for in IPA is kind of those fruit type smells. This one definitely has it. But as far as the rest of the aroma, you get that once you let it sit there for a little bit, you get that swirl on a little bit, you start to pick up more and more of that pine and dankness that you'd expect from those hops. But it almost has that straw kind of smell too. So they do use oats in here, and I kind of picked that up on the end of the smell, as well as the other flavors. But overall, a pleasant smell and aroma. Go ahead and get a taste. Wow. On the taste, a very smooth IPA. As far as the bitterness, I wish I knew what the IBU are, but the bitterness is not really there. This is actually a nice beer that even someone who may not be as fully into IPAs or looking to try IPAs might get away with trying this beer. Nice dry texture. Finishes up very nice, crisp finish on the end. Not getting any really astringency on the back end. Great mouthfeel as it bursts as you take a swallow. As far as the texture of the beer, also besides being a nice dry texture, has a nice little creaminess to it as well. The taste on as far as the hops and the bitterness, it's kind of got a light to moderate type bitterness. Like I said, it's not overly heavily bitter, but it does have a little bit of that in there where it lets you know that it is IPA, but very smooth out. Inside of what they do with the malts, they actually use Pilsner malts, wheat, and oats. So those are the three malts they also have there. So again, I'll put that information in there, and it really comes through very nice and tasty when you're actually enjoying this one. Not really picking up too much else with the taste. You do also have some of that, like I said, that wheat graininess that comes into play, but it's not an overly wheat. It's not going to make you think it's more of a wheat beer. It's definitely the IPA type beer, but it's kind of got that little mix in there to kind of let you know how they experimented with it. So I think overall this is actually a pretty decent beer. I think from Rate Beer and how they've rated it, I think it does go up into the higher level of beers. I'm definitely glad I got a chance to check out this batch. Like I said, unfortunately, it's not available out there now in the marketplace. They're not making any more, so they're done with the production on it. But if you can happen to find it, definitely check it out and see what you think. It's definitely worth picking up. I'm not sure how much longer they'll have them out there because these are IPAs and people are sensitive about trying to get those out to the market as soon as possible. But this one I was actually able to catch up at one of my local places. I was able to catch at one of my local places for this 22 ounce. It only cost me $1.99. Well worth it. I mean, it's really the way it tastes now, it's a steal. And that's where it gets into, again, talking about how some of these IPAs, people think they have to do by a certain time. This one actually has a best sale date on here. Let's see, where was it? I know it was on here for... I know it was late September. Can't see where it's at now. It was like late September of 2015. Today is actually October 26th, and it still tastes very good. Would it have tasted any different a month ago? Would it have been fresher? Probably so, but again, it's not a wasted beer being a month past its time. So the only way you really find out how some of these beers will do is actually get out there and experiment with them. But that's enough of me. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and finish drinking this beer. Again, Victory Moving Parts number 4. If you happen to get lucky out there, pick it up, check it out. So with that, I'll say cheers. Appreciate you swinging by, checking out another video. Look forward to catching you in the next one. And as always, if you like what you saw, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to speed as I release more videos down the line. Cheers.